What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We got a special end of the year type video for you guys where we're going to be
Terrible.
grading every single Eastern Conference team here. We're going to see how long it takes for us to do the Eastern Conference. But as you can see, we got the S through D ranking here. We're basically just ranking this off of like what we think just how the regular season went. So the complete body of work. So it's not just we're not just these rankings shouldn't be just the standings order.
Yeah.
There's going to be
hmm
a lot more. Each team was expected and looked at to do different things throughout the year. Um, and to start us off, we have and so just for the viewers, so we know, we have our whiteboards, so we're writing down our
Sir,
answers. Uh, so you know how raw it is. Anything you gotta say, Josh?
ready to get it started. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna agree. I think we're gonna agree with each other more than we think, honestly.
I think we're gonna agree a lot too. I'll be
Yeah.
interested to see. I think at the beginning, I'll be very interested to see like how our like what our grade like how hard we grade, how great how
hmm
that'd be interesting. But sorry for not uploading this Friday. We're really pushed with work and just scheduling and stuff. So we're trying to
Yeah.
give you this really big, good banger right here.
Great banger. This is gonna be one of our best videos. I'm
But here we
calling it.
go, starting off with the Brooklyn Nets. So I'll give us a second to write down our answers here, and then if once you got yours, you can start going. You can flip yours, whatever.
All right. We're gonna flip it at the same time.
Oh, I was gonna have you talk, and then you want to flip it at the same time.
Yeah, let's flip it at the same time.
Okay, we can. Let me just. My handwriting is horrible, ladies and gentlemen. I
Yeah.
hope you guys notice. Um, and by the way, for the tier ranking, so if like the Brooklyn Nets are in front of the Hawks, for example, in a tier, the
hmm
team that is in front is going to be the team that like we consider did better. Um, with their overall, but I might have like minuses and pluses even though they're not on the screen. But
That's
well,
it.
so are you ready? Three, two, one.
Two,
Here
one.
I got B minus, a D minus coming out of the gate so far from Josh. I think you got to go first with that big bottom of the board, bottom of the barrel for Josh.
Well, with them being 25 and 53, we
Mhm.
do see some great things from Cam Johnson and the other role players. But honestly, I feel like they just need to focus on developing new talent, really. Like they need to go through a whole change, like something like the Sixers need to do. But yeah.
That's it. That's all you have to say. You have him as the last what? Like that's D minus. That's as worst as they can get.
I mean, as of right now, I'm not saying are we doing like as like a whole team or just doing like as of right now?
I'm talking about just like as like just throughout their entire year. Like how the
Mm,
team works out the entire year. I think with the I'll go with my B minus. Why I gave it a B minus. I think with the expectation this team had, none of us were thinking that this was going to be um a play-in team even,
yeah,
but they cleared their over before even All-Star break, which is very impressive for them. Which honestly is also why I kind of would give them even less of a score as well. Why I knocked it even down even more because
yeah.
it should have been in the lottery. They should have been a team that should have been looking for the highest odds for a Cooper flag.
hmm
Um, I feel like they're a little bit late, but at least they still got off their players that they needed to get off in uh, Dennis Schroeder and Dorian Finney-Smith. I thought they should have gotten rid of Cam Johnson as well, but clearly that's a guy
Yeah.
they want to keep. Him and Nicholas Claxton are two guys they want to keep for the future. Um, so that's why I kind of like so even when if this team somehow magically does land on a Cooper flag or another high top pick that can turn
Yeah.
this franchise around, this team's kind of built ready for with a lot of role players for a guy that's really to come in and take over the reins. Um,
So I feel like you putting them
yeah.
in a B is like them being like a good team.
No, I thought they're a good team. I was just
I feel
going
like
off
I
of
feel like
like,
they deserve like C.
Yeah, I would say we'll see who drops in C. Yeah, we're definitely gonna put them in C because they're not because I have them
Yeah.
in B minus, so they're definitely dropping into C. But we'll see definitely where they end up on the board. Um, all right, are you racing now?
Yep, I'm right.
Okay, next up we got the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I'll just for right now we're on shooting on April 7th. The end of the season is April 13th. So I
Yep.
was get so the Hawks are 37 and 41, sitting at eighth in the uh Eastern Conference. I do that before we do every single one. But the Nets were sitting at 12 in the Eastern Conference, sitting at 25 and 53. For the Atlanta Hawks. Sheesh. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
Three, two, one. I got B plus, and you
Okay.
got B. Okay, okay. Would you like to talk about them first, or you want me to do?
Um, let's say this. The Hawks are a good team. Fair on good. Their starting five is pretty good. Only thing they're really struggling with is consistency. Like keeping a streak, a winning streak. I feel like they have a trouble
Hmm.
doing that. Which most teams do, which is okay. Then also need to find cohesion too. Find that little separation they need to do. I think they could definitely are a sleeper team. What you think?
Well, sitting at the eight, they do have to battle their way into the playoffs. I thought they were a sleeper team when they had Jalen Johnson. The reason I gave them a B plus is because they found that kind of not that they found, but Janet Johnson did kind of have this awakening breakout season, even though it was short lived due to his injury. And that gives you something to look forward to coming back next year. And to be honest, looking back at the year, no draft pick really shined out to be a true number one pick. I mean, you had the sparks of Jared McCain, and you have the sparks of some other rookies. I think the only one that's really truly playing right now is, of course, Alex Hart could have went number one, but Stephon Castle is looking like he could have been a number one pick. But I think you
Yeah.
nailed it as the Hawks picking Zachary Ricochet, and that's a lot different from how I was kind of looking at this team before they went into the draft and before even after the draft, when I didn't really know what to see from Ricochet. Like I didn't really know kind of where the Hawks' direction was anymore. Like it kind of seems that Okongwu's been kind of falling out of the rotations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of the Okongwu kind of show. So it's just they are going through a little bit different changes, and it's like coming from a team that didn't have that theoretically got worse, getting rid of DeJounte Murray, and then somehow scrambling that into Dyson Daniels, and he's in Defensive Player of the Year, all defensive and most improved conversations. I think they all around had a very, very good year. I'm
Yeah, they're
excited
definitely
for
solid.
them for next year, which I was not excited for them previously. So I give them a B plus.
I agree with that.
I think we do
Agreeing
when
so
we do the
far.
same letter grade, we just plop them right in there, and then
Yeah,
we'll debate
definitely.
a little bit more when we get more teams in that category. Uh, Next we got the reigning champions, the Boston Celtics.
58 and 20. This is a no-brainer for me.
This is yeah, they are
This is a
58
no-brainer.
and 20 sitting at the second seed.
It's a no-brainer. I'm ready when you are.
Oh, that sucks. All right, ready? Three,
Yep.
two, one. I made a beautiful A and then I made a really ugly S because I
Nah,
forgot
this
they're
is
as
like
S tier.
two,
They are 100% S
a
tier.
1000%.
Um,
58 and 20. Come on, look at their team. The thing about it is they have, how most teams just have star or main guy. They have stars with the Z. They they have stars with the Z, you know? Pritchard can give you 40 points, 20 points, even I'll say that, 15 points. We know what Porzingis can do. We know what Jalen Brown can do. You know what all these guys can do. I feel like they have the perfect one of the perfect all around teams, and they can win without Jason Tatum.
Yeah. I think all those points are you hear that had were really good there, but uh something with some of those players that you said, like that with Jaylen Brown doesn't even feel like that he's having necessarily like as good as a season that he did last year. Still having a very good all-star type season,
Yeah.
but last year he felt like he was kind of pushing into that all NBA type range. Um but
Hmm.
for them just be continue to can stay dominant. Again, this is another year without them having Porzingis. He's been in. He's been out for a lot of stretches here for the Celtics, and uh, that's usually very bad. And we would kind of be knocking teams. We're looking at teams like the Pelicans, like, oh my goodness, when's Zion gonna come back, and other
Yeah.
teams like that. But it's like the Celtics stay afloat, and then it's just like a cherry on top when they do have those Porzingis in some of those games, because they have an
Yeah,
amazing team
yeah.
that can carry for long stretches. I mean, you have the bench depth with Al Horford, like you said, Peyton
Yep.
Pritchard.
I was just about to
Uh,
say that.
yep. So yeah, yeah. There's no other thing than S tier. They probably could have came out. Uh, it is, and it's hard to say because like they put up that big blowout game against the Knicks on opening night, so it's like,
Hmm.
and that's kind of where like the Cavs also went off because they had that 6-0 streak. So it's like this
Yes,
championship
man.
team, uh, former championship team, you can kind of see like those dips in the season, and we definitely just saw like
Hmm.
they never caught fire, but they never were bad. They were always very consistent throughout the entire season, and they knew exactly where to pull
Yeah,
from.
I
Yep, so
agree.
that's gonna be S tier. Next we got the Hornets. Silence.
Silence. We know what it
Silence,
is.
silence when it comes out. Interesting.
And I
Alrighty.
love LaMelo. So just because I love LaMelo, I'll do this.
All right, you ready?
Yep,
Three,
I'm ready.
two, one. I got D, straight D.
All right.
Give me
Let's
why
get
you
let's
gave them that plus. We'll put some
first of
info
all, the plus is LaMelo. LaMelo is a joy to watch, right?
when he
But
plays.
when he plays, but when he's healthy too. For the rest of the team, it just feels like they're playing pickup, like at the YMCA. You know, it doesn't feel like anything is set. No really plays. They're just running like a bunch of Tony Snells that can score.
That's the damn shame. Tony Snell's crazy.
Yeah, bunch of Tony Snells that can score. So,
No,
but and they're also not very healthy either. So
they're
they're
not.
currently 19 and 59.
Yeah, it's my fault. I didn't say their
They need to
standings.
focus
They
on rebuilding. It's fine. I got most of the standings anyway.
sitting at the 14th seed. But yeah, just the cohesiveness. I've just been like for these young teams, like it's like when you're bad, I at least want to see cohesiveness and see like players grow and stuff. And I really don't haven't seen that with this team. I think you get really fun. Trey Mann looked like a really good
Mm-hmm.
addition to this team, and then he gets injured. But before that, Brandon Miller gets injured, so it's like we're already begging and like scrapping at the barrel for these Miller and LaMelo Ball minutes together, and
Yeah.
then Miller goes out for the entire season. So it's like we're really looking on LaMelo Ball. Miles Bridges has had some really good games and has can backpack them sometimes offensively, where it's like it's kind of impressive to see what he can do offensively. But this team really just needs a better supporting cast around itself as well. And it kind of sucks that it's kind of weird because like Nick Richards hasn't been amazing for the Suns, but like
Mm-hmm.
this team got a lot worse because like you get some of those surrounding piece players like taken away. You didn't really even see a real big jump from any of like their other type players.
True.
Like it really was just Trey Man. Like Josh Green never really had that.
Yeah, he might
Like
have one game where he scored 12 points. Next game, he's scoring
yeah,
three.
yeah. Seth
Next game,
Curry
he's
felt
scoring
like
zero.
he was very quiet there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what's another type? And then Nick Smith Jr. I feel like another young guard that just kind of
He
has a
had a
lot.
he had a really good game when he had four
Yeah,
3-pointers, and then after
yeah.
that, he was silent.
And then, like this is a team that has like all that like opportunity there. So like
Mm-hmm.
this is like if you like. That's what made it worry about like James Bouknight. It's like James Bouknight, you can't produce in a team that we're just asking anything, like anything
Yeah,
from you. So kind of worrisome where this team really wants to go to. I also have them in D because it's the team I'd least like to see end up with Cooper Flag.
I agree. I agree.
Next we got the Bulls, a very pivotal
Controversy team.
uh
Currently 36 and 42.
yes, sitting at the ninth seed. You've been
Yeah.
really high on Josh Giddey, but let's get into it before we let's write our answers
I'm a
down
Josh Giddey fan.
before we break it down more.
But I gotta be real. I gotta be real. I'm a
Mm.
Josh Giddey fan, but I gotta be real. Okay. Oh, also something we forgot to mention. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the Celtics, they won their last 11 games.
Yeah, no, they've been on a hot streak.
Hmm. Let me know when you're ready.
Already. I'm ready.
All right.
3, 2, 1. I got them at a B. C plus B minus. That's funny because I was actually gonna do something weird as well on my board, but
Yeah.
I decided to erase it. But yeah, I have them at B. I was gonna have them. I do have them below the Hawks. I think the Hawks have had
Yeah,
an overall
definitely.
better season. Um, it's kind of this is the kind of the season that like needed to happen a lot sooner.
Hmm.
Um, like. Like it could have been like Patrick Williams like type sooner like before because if we finally move on from Zach LaVine this year, I know that's really hard for Bulls fans seeing him for about I think it was 6 years there.
Yeah.
And then ends up that he goes to plays with his former teammate DeMar DeRozan to make him the Bulls 2.0. But yeah, it's just nice to see that this team finally got washed their hands from Zach LaVine and they finally have something to look forward to in the future because you didn't have that really in Dalen Terry or in Patrick Williams, but you sure as hell
Yeah.
have that in Miles Puzelis. Um, and then you're also doing really, really good with the right now and have stuff that like will complement players in the future and will help you win now, which is in Kobe White and Josh Giddey. I don't know
Yeah.
how Josh Giddey will be in the full landscape of the Bulls. But he fits the timeline of youngness, and I think he definitely will be a pillar of. I think this season, if he can continue some of this type of play, I don't expect the shooting percentages to always be this amazing, but
Yeah.
if he can continue this type of play, I definitely think he's a pillar for this team because it's a guard that clearly can play with alongside Kobe White.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I rank them a C plus or a B minus because
Put them in the B's. 'Cause
they
I
yeah,
think
put them
they're
in the B's.
the
Yeah, put them
definition
in the
of
B's.
mid.
Yeah, they're trying. I feel like
It's
they're
like
just facing a bunch of up and downs and they're
yeah.
trying to find the right formula for success, but they're definitely better than the Hornets and the Nets, but worse than the Hawks.
It doesn't
So
seem like I said with the Nets. It's like, why are you winning so many games? I feel like they've won a little bit too many important
mhm,
games to where it's like you hurt your draft stock a lot this year as well. When you could have
yeah,
you could have ended up with a high pick.
I feel like they're mid. The Bulls are mid, but they're like trying to be better.
Yeah,
Like
they're
they're
always gonna
working it.
compete.
They're like a working in progress, basically.
Yeah,
And they have Vucevic, and they have a good like young team that can run. So
it was very interesting that they never packed like and moved on from Vucevic, but they moved on from the other two guys. I
yeah,
think because Vucevic definitely has like he it's not that like he has a lot of value out on the market anymore, I feel like, but if you do lose him, now you have a huge hole at the center, so you might as well keep him. So I do see why they did keep him because like you see when you move on from your big man, it's tough. Next we have the Cleveland Cavaliers.
even I don't think we have to really go through this. We know what they are.
Yeah, I can write that down on my board right now. We got that as a
We
S tier.
S, yeah, they're S tier
They're
for
S tier.
sure.
We already talked about how they
Donovan Mitchell, amazing.
expectations in the first 6 games of the year. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll let you just
Donovan
take
Mitchell,
away.
amazing. Darius Garland, amazing. Their defense is crazy.
Now, the question is, do we have them behind or in front of the Boston Celtics? I'm going to argue for my take. I'm going to have them in front of the Boston Celtics because no one had the Cavaliers being the number one seed throughout this entire year. And then whenever we even had our own discussions, we're like
Yeah,
that we were not taking it seriously until you beat this team. We're not taking it really seriously until you beat this team. And they did that. They went on the streaks. They beat the big teams in the big games. They took
I feel
care
like
of
it's just. I feel like it's
everything
still a
this year.
playoff.
So.
It's still a regular season, so you never really know. But I agree. I can agree with that. Right now, they are better than, but
Yeah,
we don't know what the playoffs look like. So
they said at 62 wins and 16 losses, and sitting at the one seed, uh, clinching the number one seed, but not clinch the number one, the best seed in the NBA, which is going to be the OKC Thunder, who did surpass them. But I think this team, yeah, they've hit every and when it goes down to roster base, yeah, a
yeah.
big bounce back year from Darius Garland. Had a lot of face
Hmm.
injuries last year. Another good consistent year from Donovan Mitchell. Seems like he's really embracing being the guy in Cleveland. And then you make the good signing with Max Strus. You keep playing with him. You make
He's
the good
killing it.
trade for DeAndre Hunter, who looked like he was in six man of the year conversations.
Hmm.
You get the big jump from Evan Mobley, and then hopefully that this year, Jared Allen can play really,
Jared
really
Allen's
good
been killing
playoff
it. High,
defense.
38 points, 38-point high. So I agree with that. Right now, they're
Yeah,
definitely better than Celtics.
yeah. I think you get a lot of different looks. I think they're built for they were built for this season because the
Yeah.
season looked like you need to be top heavy in talent and you also need a depth
You also need a good
yes.
defense
And
line too.
then I didn't even mention Ty Jerome when his breakout with the six man of the year conversations as well.
I agree.
Next up, we got the Indiana Pacers, our hometown team.
Oh, this is easy. I don't need to write
Oh, this
anything
one's
for this.
easy for you. I have to kind of think about this one for myself.
All right. I read it too, though.
This one's tough. Are you ready? Three, two, one. I'm going B plus. Oh, you're going B, so I'm glad that we both have
Yeah,
them
we
in
agree.
B.
The Pacers have always been a solidified team. So they really just been showing it, especially against their them crazy last Wednesday they having. And I think their starting five is really solid too. They've always been a C4, C5 team. So I think they've really just been showing their growth this year. It hasn't as big as last year, but still they've been holding down the solidification of their spot from last year. And
Yeah,
they're currently 47 and 31.
yeah, sitting at the fourth seed or fifth seed.
Fourth seed, I want to, yeah, fourth
Yeah,
seed.
yeah. My only big knock with them, I think I agree with all your other points for why we have them there. I think we both can agree on that. Just kind of replicating it as they had questions that were they going to be similar to that Hawks team that made the Eastern Conference Finals and then wasn't able to do anything the next year. It seems that they're at least were able to make the standings similar for themselves,
Yeah.
and so hopefully they should have. I think they played themselves into a good playoff matchup where this is a team that really does need that because they are kryptonite for the Bucks and some other teams. But the reason I put this knock team where they really didn't push into that A range for me personally is because the rough start that Tyrese Halliburton had at the beginning of the year.
Hmm.
And you can't really put that on the team, which is why I still have them above the Hawks and the Bulls. I don't know where you stand on that. But with that, with Tyrese Halliburton's slow start, it kind of looked like they were gonna be that kind of like, whoa, we're taking a step back after just making the Eastern Conference Finals. But they figured it out. And it didn't take anything crazy. Didn't take a trade. Didn't take a firing. Didn't take a signing. They just kind of really just kept pushing and chugging along with the team that they had as well with growing it, with growing them. So so it really did. I don't know how excited I am for them for next year. I know that's kind of the debate I had with the Hawks. I am really excited for the Hawks, what they can bring back with second year Ricochet and another year, a full year of Jalen Johnson,
Yeah.
hopefully this team kind of will be bringing back the same thing, and you're fighting the Miles Turner free agency every single year. Like every single year, he's in trade talks. Every single year, he feel
Hmm.
like he's in free agency. So you're always fighting that. I kind of want them to uh, make another uh, decent move to maybe shift them out of this. Also, because I think we can all agree they are even though they are a top four team, they don't feel like a top five team. Like
Yeah.
so, I kind of want them to kind of make
I
something
feel like
that
yeah, they've been
moves them.
coasting by a
But
lot.
where do we have them in the ranks of the B? I have them above the Hawks.
Yeah,
Where do you
definitely
where
above the Hawks. Definitely above the
you have
Hawks.
them there? Okay.
And better than both of the
I mean,
yes.
it's making it. I mean, not that big of a debate episode. I was hoping it was going to spark a little bit more debates, but I'm glad that
I
it
feel
is
like
making
I feel like
the
with
tier
yeah,
making it easier.
I feel like with the East it's pretty gonna be easy, but the West it might get a little hard. What you think?
Yeah, yeah, probably. I agree. Um, Next we have the Detroit Piston, Detroit basketball. Yeesh.
And
Alrighty.
they just clinched the playoffs too, so
Yes. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Three, two, one.
Oh, that's a bad B.
The hell is that? Show it back on the screen. Oh my goodness, chat. Look
That's
at
a
his
bad B.
B. B minus. I have A plus for this team. So
A plus.
should I go first
You
or
should go first.
okay. Um uh so first things first, this team was the worst, had the worst team in NBA
Yeah,
basketball
that's true.
last
That's
year.
true.
And like you just said, they clinched the playoffs. They got shooting. They didn't get nothing crazy in the offseason, but they just got a lot of valuable shooters. And I was thinking about the other night just to myself, this kind of goes off tangent, but I was thinking to myself like I was expecting the Orlando Magic, we'll get to them later in the video, but I thought they were going to have a really significant boost with their three pointers because they got a really good catch and shoot guy, a 3-and-D guy in KCP.
That's true.
Um, who I would personally myself credit a better shooter than some of the guys that they got on the Pistons team. However, the Pistons got guys. They got Tim Hardaway Jr., they got Malik Beasley, they got Tobias Harris.
Yeah, they
All
got
those guys
shooters.
can shoot it. So, and kind of a shooting a thing is kind of like who has it that night.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the night has been Malik Beasley, but we've seen other big performances
We've
from the other
seen Tim
guys.
Hardaway score 32 points. We've seen a
Tobias Harris been
of them.
probably one of the best spacing power forwards in the league in the last couple of years, even though his production is kind of capped at 16 points. Um, I've been really, really impressed with this team defensively as well, always getting into it. Ron Holland and Isaiah Stewart seem to be in the middle of everything. I always love teams that have that fire and dog with them. And yeah, I think it's something that we shouldn't take for granted, and we should reward them. And then in this type of video, we should, like this is kind of where we acknowledge like what else did you want from them? They completely turned around their franchise basically
Yeah,
in the matter of a year and turn
that's
around the
true.
season.
I'll put them
I
at B
don't think.
plus.
Yeah. I don't
I'll
think we
put
should
them
go
ahead of
into
the
next
Pacers.
year. I don't think we should go into next year thinking that a team will make this type of jump. Like we should
Yeah.
like this is a very rare jump. But why you have them for your B minus and B plus?
So originally I was gonna say B minus because just put the tier, and then I think about it like actually we think of the B tier. If these teams had to play each other in a 7 game series, who will win? And when I thought of that, I'm like, okay, the Pistons can definitely beat the Pacers. Why? Because Tyler Halliburton is not very consistent. And they don't really have consistent scores that much. Besides Siakam. And then you look at the Hawks. If they play the Hawks, I feel like Cade Cunningham might go off on Trae Young. And it might not be as physical as people think. And then the
Yeah.
Bulls, I feel like they play a little too slow and they give up a lot of points. That's why I put them ahead of the Pacers and the Hawks and the Bulls.
Yeah, so you want to go officially A tier, and then I don't believe that team will be. I don't think a team will be higher than in A tier. That's why I do kind of have them at the top of A. But like,
Okay, I
yeah,
can agree with A tier.
I think they do. I think they would be all those teams in the playoffs below them, and then that's not really all what this video is based upon us. But like, I agree with that as well. But just like their overall just comeback in the year, just with Cade looking like it. Not even when a player makes that kind of like all-star jump, but then it makes that all NBA jump, it's very impressive to me. Next we have the Miami Heat. I will say we have 5 more minutes before our break, so hang around for them. We'll finish up the rest of the tier list. But we got the Heat right now, Miami Heat, which
Okay.
have been interesting because they had the Jimmy Butler trade in the year, so you gotta remember that. Like you're grading them
Mm-hmm.
for the whole year. You can't like it's not just this new Andrew Wiggins look.
That's true.
Hmm.
Hmm. Ah.
Tough one. I think it's one of our toughest ones of the night.
Yeah.
I got my answer though.
I got my answer too.
All right, ready?
All right. I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. I got C minus, and you got B minus. Interesting. I'm gonna let you go first because you get them higher.
So
I have them
they
below the
they
Nets, by the way. Where do
yeah,
you have yours?
I have them below the Bucks. I mean, yeah, I would say the Bucks, the Bulls. I have them behind the Bulls.
All
They're
right,
better
let me
than
hear
the
what you
Nets.
got.
So Miami Heat, they feel like they're down experience, but they still like a franchise team. Why? Because Tyler Hero can hold it down, and they still have Bam Adebayo to really clean it up. So I feel like they're better than the Nets for sure, but I don't think they're better than the Bulls. That's why I'll put them behind the Bulls.
Yeah, I just have them behind the Nets because I feel like the Nets just had like the biggest knock I had on them was that they were too good. Like
Yeah,
they picked up too much heat at some times, which is funny. We're talking about the Heat, but the Jimmy Butler situation gave me a big bad taste in my mouth, and I basically made the Heat unwatchable for the first half of the season because you just knew that this wasn't going to be the Miami Heat team that you were going to be watching at the end of the year. So what was the point of basically watching them other
yeah.
than to watch Tyler Hero drop 30 and Bam have sometimes aggressive nights, but majority of the times not aggressive nights. And I'm not saying aggressive talking about him trying to attempt shots because that's what kind of we've done with some other guys like Ben Simmons. But I don't want my big man. He kind of falls into that DeAndre Ayton game sometimes where
Yeah,
it's like you're falling for that mid range and that soft touch too often. I want you to bang around and like get boards and like I don't know, really dominate yourself in the post game. But
I feel like they're also still kind of rebuilding too, like just trying to figure it out.
hmm
Like a lot
and
of these teams in the East are still trying to figure it out.
and with the Jimmy Butler trade finally passed, I don't like the roster that stands like. Andrew Wiggins has, I thought that he was going to be more of a glue guy, and he kind of just doesn't really know where his role is with this team quite yet. We saw a huge decline of Terry Rozier looking like one
Yeah,
of the worst guards in the NBA, looking like Killian Hayes bad out there. Do not know what happened to his game. And then like Jaime Jaquez does not look all that great this year. Like
yeah,
just kind of
he
weird
doesn't.
drops from like that type of play. So I'm gonna have them behind the nets. So where are we placing this team at? I'm to say I cannot have them on the same team at t tier as the Bulls. Like I have to have them
Okay, that's
at
fair. Yeah,
the C tier. But you have them in front or behind the nets.
in front.
Yeah, I'm in front. Okay, I will compromise on the in front of the nets. If I can put them there. There we are. Alrighty. Now we got 2 minutes to do the Bucks.
All right,
Let's
let's put the Bucks at B tier.
What do you mean, boy? You didn't write your thing down.
Let's put the Bucks at B tier. Let's do it.
B tier for the Bucks.
B tier for the Bucks.
Okay. Now, I was thinking, yeah, I agree with
They're
that
still a
as well,
playoff
but
team. They're still a playoff
I
team, but
def
I
they're
feel
definitely
like they've had like a down year.
Yeah, I feel like they always it's been too much of a Giannis carry, and I'm grading this
Hmm.
team by the team grade and not by one individual person's team on this thing. And I think this team's dead in the water. Like they're kind of a purgatory. If this team dies out early in the playoffs, what happens to this team in the off season and stuff? I'm gonna
Right.
say B as well. I'm gonna say right here. What do you have to say about that?
I say behind the
Behind the Bulls? I can't
no
put.
no
I want them. I want them
no.
still behind the. I don't want them behind the Hawks. The Hawks. I like. Think about it, the worst of the worst for this team. They die off in the first round to the Pacers, and it's like,
Hmm.
what we do if like Brooke is only getting older. The defense is not good.
That's true. That's true. That's understandable. That's understandable.
We've had made our Torian Prince jokes around this
Yeah.
entire year, and he's been starting for them
Hmm. I agree. I agree with that.
already. That's where we'll place him for right now. Um, but when we come back from the break, we'll be finishing off these five Eastern Conference teams. Thank y'all for watching the first little half of the video. Shout out to your boy. Welcome back from the break.
Hey, back.
We're back. We're going right on to the Knicks. You have your answer for the Knicks? Ready?
All right. Let me get my marker. Uh,
Well, you
I
can
don't have
say
it.
yours because I have mine written down if you just want to say yours.
Okay, I'll just say mine. I got them at A tier ahead of the Pistons. Let's get it. Yeah. Let's get it. I got them at A tier ahead of the Pistons. What you think?
A minus. I had them behind the Pistons. So let me hear your. So
What?
let's first talk about.
Can we compare starting fives first? Can we do that?
Hold on. We'll talk about the Knicks first, and then we'll get to our debate of where we put them on our thing. But I think we can both agree that they're both an A tier team. They did
Hmm.
exactly what they needed to do this year,
Yes.
improving their roster. They got Karl Anthony Towns right before the season started.
It was a
Um,
great pickup.
Great pickup because they did not have Mitchell Robinson for
Hmm.
that much time this year, and Cat was a perfect center for them. Not
Perfect.
perfect center in the just the defensive aspects, but perfect just because for what they needed
He can shoot.
offensively and
Shooter. Come on.
rebounding. Um, but I have them at the A minus and behind the Pistons because have not been able to beat one of those top teams, and I really hold that
That's true.
against them. Um, I really haven't really seen the full lockdown defense that I thought I was going to get from Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby being on the same team. With Cat having, I would tell you first, I think Cat had his best season of all of his career this year, but they give up the most paint touches.
Yeah.
I mean
True.
the percentage of the paint. Which you just can't have that on a playoff team. But I
Yeah.
give it, with all that being said, I do put you at A. So let me hear what you got to say about this team.
So I do agree with you on the defense and the lack of them giving up paint touches, and they give up a lot of points in general. And also they shoot a lot of threes, but they also don't make a lot of threes, which is something I also noticed. Um, they are a great team, but you're right, they haven't beat that big team that we have always seen. Like they haven't beat like a Celtics or a Cavs,
Like
but I still think they have what it takes because they've run back excitement to the Garden for real, for real.
imagine
They
if
bring back
the
excitement to the Garden with them being 50 and 28. Like looking at all the other teams on besides the Celtics and the Cavs, I think they can beat them all.
imagine if the
But
Cavs
I
had
feel
the
like,
best record but didn't
but I do
beat the
feel like,
Celtics. Like we'd hold that
yeah,
against them
yeah. But
greatly.
I do feel like where you're right is that the Knicks when it's time to play like these teams below them, it's always either gonna be like a tight game for the most part, which I do agree with them give and it has to do with their defense. So,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's debatable. Like for them to be against the Pistons in 7 game series, like you hope them to win, but we never know because Cunningham could come out and hit a lot of threes, so
Yeah.
you don't really know. Because that's a 3 pointing team versus a offensive rebounding slash trying to be a defensive team. So I
Yeah,
understand why you say that.
they've honestly even like gotten away from the offensive rebounding too. It's just a very well-rounded downhill offensive team
Hmm.
that can put together on the glass just defensively, but it used to be a little better on the offensive glass. But um, yeah, I mean, I'll give it to you. I will agree with you on that regard,
Well, I'll be
and that's why
down.
we can
Honestly,
have them above the
we can
Pistons because
agree on
I would say I would have the Knicks over a Pistons in a series.
yeah in the series, yeah. But it's also debatable, so you never really know. But I would put them for now at least.
Uh, we can say they had a mid their season. Okay, next we got the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. They might hate me for this one.
Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off, bro.
Alrighty,
Don't
are
piss
you
me off,
ready?
bro.
I'm writing so teeny. I need to start writing bigger. I don't know why I'm writing so
I'm
small,
writing
but
kind of small too.
all right. 3, 2, 1. C
C
plus.
plus,
Oh my God. A plus for this team. I'll let you have the board. I'll let you have the floor. Let me hear what you
C
got.
plus. Okay, they are 38 and 40. They have a young team. They have a lot of potential, but they don't have a lot of experience. So I understand why you're saying that. But the leaps that they've been able to do, like I like it's just as big as the Detroit Pistons, for real. Pablo, you got Frank. They got a great
Pablo.
Paulo Venchero, Mr. 40 ball, 30 ball.
Pablo. Yeah, but they
Um,
suck. This is the worst team in the league at shooting threes, and they give up the most threes. So it's like
but
disgusting.
they have the greatest potential. That's what I'm looking at the potential, y'all.
For
He's
this
looking at
team,
team on factor. But I'm all right. Let's say this. Let's say this. Potentially wise, they have A plus. But as a team wise, I put him. I put him in front of the Bulls. I put him in front of the Bulls. Let me know what y'all think. I'll put him in front of the
I
Bulls.
have them behind the Bulls because they
Let it.
were
Hey, in the comments, let us know what y'all think. Are they in front of the Bulls or behind them? Or they in the, or they six or they six,
you had them in
I
A
said
plus.
six seed,
That's nowhere
six
near
seed.
them. That A plus is above the Knicks.
Nah, I think they're behind the Pistons, but I don't know. I
I
don't know.
can't
I
do it
feel
for
like
the team
some games just be like
that they had so many injuries,
maybe it's just
and
me
then they
thinking
play
like
very good.
yeah,
Like with
maybe it's just me
with them
watching
being out.
the defense.
Yeah, I'll give them that. But when they got them back, they not win very many close games.
Yeah,
I feel like it comes down to Paolo Banchero having 30 and them still being down by 8 because they just can't hit threes.
that's true. That's true.
And
That's true.
they've been riddled with the injury bug. I mean, I will give them that. Like that sucks, but like I would love to see this team in the playoffs because I feel like they can't do anything offensively.
But they got the greatest defense.
And
I understand.
they don't have their lead guard and Jalen Suggs.
Hmm.
So where are we putting this team? We putting them
We put them C.
put them C in front of the
C.
we put them in front of the put them in front of the Heat, of course.
Put them in the front. Yeah. All
Next.
right. These next three teams.
These actually teams are gonna be dirty. But
These
we
next three
have
teams. We can
the
honestly these next three teams. We can just all put them in the category we're gonna put them in and rank them in that way. Like how we feel about
no. I have letter grades for them. I do. All
them.
right,
Okay.
I'll write a letter for this next one. I have to get it out of my system.
I'm ready when you are.
Yeah. It's not even on the board, but yes, okay, yes. Uh, y- y- from having Jared McCain maybe be the rookie of the year in the first 2 months of the year, and then him going out with an injury, Paul George having to stop his podcast,
Too much chaos. It's like a
Joel
drama
Embiid
show.
looking like the
It's like
worst
a drama show.
contract extension probably since Bradley Beal.
He's
So
stealing money like
just
Ben Simmons now.
what do you have to say about them? Other than
Man, I have no words, man. I
probably
knew once
will
Paul
use
George.
Lob Yabusele. Thank you for reintroducing Yabusele to the NBA, but he's definitely not going to be on their team because
Yeah,
he's not coming back on the minimum.
something. The Sixers they had.
Quentin
They
Grimes is
also
that's the closest W they've gotten.
yeah. Um, too many injuries. Which is unfortunate, but you knew this when you got Paul George. So
I hate that this puts Nick Nurse on the hot seat because I think Nick Nurse is an amazing 10 out of 10 coach.
he's an
And
amazing coach. Yeah.
clearly has honestly been
Um.
getting the most out of his players because like players that he got, they've been okay.
Yeah, they've been okay. Sixers suck, but I mean, what can they do but re-strategize?
I know this goes
They need to just
against a lot of like
they really need to rebuild around Tyrese Maxey.
how hyped should we get for them
Honestly,
next year? Is my question.
we shouldn't get hype at all. We gotta let them. We gotta let them do their own thing. Get out the mud again.
But like, if this team is a 4 seed next year, what are your thoughts?
I hope so. Like they will have to turn it around. I'll be surprised.
I hope
I gotta
so.
see them
That's
next
where the
year if
Pacers
they
are. You don't think they really can be where the Pacers were?
don't put them in the same sentence as the Pacers. Why? Because the Pacers last year had an unstoppable season.
Okay. Okay.
If the Sixers can somehow next year get into,
It was stopped by the Boston Celtics, but okay.
but that's a great team. Is it not a great team?
It is, but they probably would have been stopped by a healthy Knicks too, but that's debatable.
That's probably.
I bet you,
But the Sixers, man, they make me sad.
yeah. Oh, I didn't even mention it today. Before we get to the jersey, we got the Toronto Raptors, DeMar DeRozan jersey on, just cause we're talking about a bunch of teams. And next we got my favorite NBA team, the Toronto Raptors. But I'm gonna keep it a fat beam. We haven't talked about them a lot on this podcast just because I like to keep my thoughts away from this team. Um,
29-50. I'll let you take this away after we rank them.
I would say
I'm ready when you are.
now that I'm looking at this, I think I want to change some things too. But I have them at C plus. I wrote that
C
so
plus
teeny. I wrote that so teeny. C plus. What
at
do you have?
29-50. Are you biased because it's your favorite team?
No, see, okay, let me explain my reasoning just
No.
off the board in itself, off the
I
board.
have them at D. Like
D.
I have them at D ahead of the Charlotte, like top D. That sounds crazy. Top D.
I'll give you my
I
reasons why we're better
have
than
them as
Charlotte.
better than the Charlotte. Better
But
than
I
Charlotte.
would let me first. I would like to have the Brooklyn Nets above the Miami Heat. What are your thoughts?
I'm not mad at that.
And then, okay, we could do that. And then I was liking to have my team at C plus because I thought that's where like I guess it'd just be complete C. I'll just do C. I would like to have them in between that spot, right? The Nets and the Hawks. I mean, next in the Heat because my reason is because we actually made a good sign. We actually made a good signing extension. Not it might be look bad back because we haven't even seen him play a minute for us yet, but that was with Brandon Ingram. I like that we actually took an initiative to do something. We have been tanking super hard, probably been making the most notable team of the tank, which is
Yeah.
nice to see at least because then it's like, hey, our team's actually good. We've just been purposely losing these games, which
I don't think they're
like
beating the Heat in a
because
seven game series. So
because we hit Scotty Barnes, we sit RJ Barrett, we sit all our players for the fourth
oh, I forgot
quarter.
about RJ Barrett. Okay, that might be okay. I'll be forgetting who the Raptors have because they're so
Emmanuel
bad.
quickly, Jacoby Walter actually be getting some really good
Oh
burn.
yeah, okay. Okay, I
Grady
agree now.
Dickman cooking.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, Capoto as the man in the paint. Chris Boucher been having a very good year. He kind of has he been very like Like one year he's really good, and then another year he's really bad, and then another year he kind of feels like he's another really good. He was an MVP in the G League one year.
Yeah. This
But
is it's you know what the reason I haven't been watching the Raptors a lot is
we
because when
purposely
you're
try
not
to
a
lose games.
yeah, yeah. Also, and when you're not a top 8 team, it's just hard to watch you unless your name is Kevin Durant or Devin Booker.
That's hateful, but yeah, I feel you about that. I don't know. We play collective type of basketball. We're basically, I hate to say it, I feel like we're the better Jazz in the East. Like we play team style
That is
basketball, but
nasty.
you're not trying to watch the Jazz. You're not trying to watch the Raptors. But I don't really want us to get. I think we're the best team for a top pick this year to go to besides Cooper Flag because we don't need another wing because we have RJ
Yeah,
Barrett
yeah,
and
you
Scotty
have enough
Barnes. But
wings.
Dylan Harper, you give us a guard, you give us a big. I mean, anything from Jakob Poeltl will be an upgrade with a young, youthful guy. And then I don't mind shipping or sitting down Emmanuel quickly. So either of those positions are open, and I think we have the best surrounding pieces for one of those type of prospects to come in.
I
Um,
agree. I agree.
but so yeah, we're putting this team. I don't mind us having us being
I
complete
mean, this is where
here,
I want to put them, but
but I can't.
I know that they can be at Seahawks. Like I haven't watched them as much, but I know like their lineup is pretty good. So honestly, you can put on what you think honestly on this one.
All right, the biases we'll put them there, but the Heat.
Okay, I'm fair with that. I'll
We
take
have
that.
nothing as impressive as Tyler Hero this season. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give
Okay.
them. I'm gonna give the Hero that. I'm gonna give that to Hero. Next we have our final team of the video, the Washington Wizards, the last team that should always close out any video, seeing as they ended WW. So for the Wizards, they aren't as bad as they are last year. If this was
Yeah.
last year, they would have gotten an F.
They're
Um,
currently 17-61, y'all.
but they made draft picks, and their
Hmm.
draft picks weren't actually horrible to watch. I don't know
And
why
they're
I'm.
looking for improvement right now. So
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Put on that. This is debatable, but you know.
I have them at D. C minus or D. The reason I have them as D is because they don't have anything close to spectacular as LaMelo
Jordan
Ball.
Poole. Jordan Poole.
They don't have anything as spectacular as close to LaMelo Ball. But that's why I have them there. And but the rookies have been, like I said, very fun to watch. Alex Sarr looks like the next Serge Ibaka.
I
But
feel like they're just having a tough season.
a team that could definitely rise if they got Cooper Flag and could
Yeah,
definitely
definitely.
be down here again if they don't hit on their draft pick. So it's like
I feel like you can definitely put them. I don't know. I don't know if you can put them over the Hornets.
watching their hand from Kyle Kuzma, I actually did really like them doing this year. And they took back what they could get back. And honestly, those players have been doing pretty decent. AJ Johnson actually has been having some fun
They've
moments.
been doing good. I
Chris
feel like they're
Middleton
developing still.
take
They
actually
had long way to go.
Chris Middleton, you basically got him for veteran purposes, which is actually
Hmm.
nice that this
Like
team
PJ
finally
Tucker.
gets some veteran presence. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I probably. What were you thinking on this? I was thinking right here. What were you thinking?
I'm thinking either right there or in the front. But I got to think about it. They only have Jordan Poole. Like consistently, they only have Jordan. Like somebody that can go out there and really get it to it every time, no complaining,
Yeah,
Jordan Poole. But the Hornets have LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges and role players. All right, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I ain't mad.
yeah. Hopefully Bob Carrington can be a guy that can get his own bucket whenever he wants to out there,
Yeah, I ain't mad at that.
and Keyshawn George can get some buckets, but they're definitely rookies, young players. That I would.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, if I was building a team, I'd rather have them over Josh Green. But like the overall built structure of the Hornets, like the Hornets, you get. I don't know. I don't know what would save the Hornets though, to be honest. like I said, that's the worst team I'd like to see that get Cooper Flag. I don't want to because well, they're gonna pretend that it's gas because we're gonna get lobs from Cooper Flag to LaMelo Ball. I don't want to live in that world. I would rather live in a world
Yeah.
where we see Cooper Flag with just to name the whole team. But what's the like limit we're looking for? For the Western Conference, Josh?
Say it one more time.
What are we looking for the like count?
For the like count, we're looking for 7 likes. Lucky number seven. Luka
Lucky number
Doncic.
7, Luka Doncic.
7-7.
The next video, we better get 77 for Luka Doncic. Eee.
Hey.
But yeah,
Se-
we'll bring you guys
77.
back our gradings for the Western Conference. Y'all give us that 7 likes. That's all we ask. We're just looking for more consistency. We're looking for more hustle from us. Sorry for not giving you guys that video on Friday, but make sure to go check out Josh's video. Josh spelled with an X, and Giblets the Clown is my Twitch and YouTube channel. But
Thank you so much for watching.
yeah,
We'll be back sooner than you think.
yep. Shout out to your boy, Deuces.